Good afternoon, Nigeria, and welcome to the Vice Presidential Debate 2015, organized by the Nigerian Elections Debate Group, NEDG. It promises to be an exciting and very incisive debate. My name is Kirian Umayo from the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, and I have my professional colleagues here with me who will now introduce themselves.
My name is Chinyere Ashade, and I'm from Voice of Nigeria, VON.
And my name is Maigri Mohammed Kanna from Bauchi Radio Corporation.
The Nigerian Elections Debates Group is a broad-based national coalition of the media, civil society organizations, and professional associations working together to host presidential debates for candidates seeking elective offices as presidents or governors of the country. For purposes of clarity, NEDG is non-partisan, non-political, and independent, designed to ensure that political debates become a permanent feature of Nigeria's democracy and culture.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Taiwo Alemi, with the background information on our deliberation today. The rules are the same for every session. Shaka Paul of Family to take the floor.
I represent Action Alliance Party, and we are for the masses. Our mission is to develop a Nigeria of our collective hopes and aspirations. We want to save the life of the common Nigerian while protecting the interests of others. Hence our slogan, let the masses live. Our dream is to build a Nigeria where everybody is gainfully employed and there is justice and peace reigning. We believe that this nation can be better if the common man is made a partner in the project Nigeria.
Thank you very much. I must say that we do appreciate this forum and this opportunity that you have given us to be able to present ourselves to the people of Nigeria. The Allied Congress Party of Nigeria, my party, is poised to better the lot of Nigerians. We believe that the commonwealth of this nation should be spent for everybody in the nation. We want to focus on education, and that is qualitative education, especially in the tertiary sector. We want to diversify our economy. We've been, relying on oil, and we all see what, the price of oil is now. We want to be able to diversify and go into mining, into agriculture, and quality agriculture for that matter.
Nigeria, it is a sad fact, in fact, in our national history, Nigerian has been derailed with question of leadership and Marian problem. So this is what attracts the attention of Hope Democratic Party to come out and participate and serve the common man in Nigeria. We have a bunch of programs to cover the problems we are facing in this nation, range from leadership, corruption, diversification of our economics, employment opportunity, skill training to train our youth, and even remind our present youth to cultivate the culture of patriotism.
My party, People's Party, PPN, People Party of Nigeria, we are here to make Nigeria better, to fight for the corruption of Nigeria. one thing that we are really talking about is about health of our people. We are here to build hospitals around so that our people, with the children, pregnant women, will not be suffering. And we're here for education, free education, if we have the opportunity to be in a position to make sure we have free education for primary and secondary education. We give them free books, free uniforms, and everything they want.
The people of Nigeria deserve a better deal than what they're getting now. And I know that that better deal will come from me. One, in the sense that I am a part of the masses. We've been in this struggle ever since, and it has been evolving, and we know where we are now. We know where we are now is not what the people want. And if voted into power, if people can shun politics of godfatherism, of money bags, and of putting family, turning the politics of Nigeria into family business. It's either me, my husband, or my son, or my cousin, or my in-law, then they should vote for the right people.
In each and every area that we're having problem in this nation, the audience will agree with me, since our independence, in our journey of today, politics, Nigerians are yet to create and prove the dream of our founding fathers, a society where peace, progress, and unity will reign.
The situation that we are in this country now, I think many of us, we don't like it. We are not saying what they did before, other people, they've not done well. But we are coming, or I am coming, to improve, to add to what they've done before. To help for educations, health cares, and every other things our Nigeria needs. And secondly, to empower women, more especially. If you look around, we have widows all around there, no husband, and they have a lot of children to take care of.
I and the Party Action Alliance have, over these past 16 years, researched into solutions to our problems, our national problems. And at this point, we have good solutions to them. We have honest and sincere solutions to hunger. Mass unemployment, especially amongst the youth. We have a formula with which we can create between 8 million and 10 million jobs annually. We have solutions to the health problems of Nigerians, which successive governments have not been able to do.
People are talking about corruption. That Nigeria are corrupt, no good, the people are not happy about the situation of Nigeria. So People's Party of Nigeria, we said, if we are in power, that we are going to change corruption to make sure that everything will move forward in this country. Thank you.
First, we'll start by getting the ministry, the judicial arm of government and the executive, the legislature to introduce retroactive laws, very punitive ones, as the background for fighting corruption. We'll set up a national restitution committee. There are Nigerians, and all of us know some, who are the people who have the nation's wealth in their hands.
Until, I am of the opinion, until the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature are given autonomous powers, we will continue to have corruption in this country. Because he who pays the piper dictates the tune. I cannot put a judge in place, and then one of my godsons has been taken for money laundering, and that judge will now indict him. We don't do that in Nigeria.
If you don't have a good leadership who are sincere, visionaries, all this issue of corruption will not wipe in Nigeria. Because you can't have a corrupt leader and expect that person to fight corruption. It can't work. Hope Democratic Party has a good package for Nigerian youth based on this issue, because we have a program where we are going to industrialize our country. And also we have a program that will link a government, Hope Democratic government, if come into the power, will sponsor a research, academic research and individual research on various fields or projects that Nigerian and humanity as a whole, in line with transformation agenda, will benefit.
Talking about the youth, the unemployment really, if you want to look, we have a lot of applicants outside there. Graduate every day, here and there, no job for them. Looking at all these construction companies now, I think as of last 2 weeks, they started sacking people to join the ones that we have before. People's Parties of Nigeria, we said we're going to make provision to make sure that our youth, they have something doing. As you are graduating, you'll be getting job. Because if you look around, we're talking about robbery and stealing and every other corruption in this country, it's because they don't have anything doing. So we are making provision for that. As soon as they are coming out from their school, we'll make provision for them to start working.
We shall provide jobs for, every year, between 8 and 10 million youths, through road maintenance, through agriculture, through environmental cleaning and converting garbages to wealth, through free education. That education will be free will mean more employment for teachers, bulk of whom will be youths. We shall identify the industries in Nigeria, viable and dead, list them, induce the dead ones to start and employ people, induce the working ones to produce to at optimum levels and employ people. There will be mass employment into deficient areas of the armed forces, and the youths come to mind easily. All facets of the armed forces. We shall have ICT centers everywhere for the youths to work on.
My party would want to overhaul the power system. If the power system, from generation to distribution and to marketing of electricity, if they are very effective, we won't have some of these manufacturing companies and industries relocating to some of our brothers in the west of Africa. Once we are able to stabilize power generation, distribution, and marketing, we will then go into training our youth in life skills, even outside of what they have gone to the university, their paper qualification, so that as soon as these children are graduating, they have something, even if it's a stopgap or a hobby that they want to take for life, they have something that they can do. They'll not go looking for jobs, but they will be employers of labor themselves. They can go into so many things. There are barbing salons that boys are really interested in. Some of our Nigerian youth, both female and male, are very active in entertainment industry. They do the Nollywood, they sing, they do a lot of things. And they can directly go into that rather than carrying their certificates in hand looking for paid employment, because really, if you have to be frank to ourselves, most of us seated here are not using our certificates. We're not even doing things that are related to our certificates.
First of all, I don't know what the army officers are doing in town. If voted into power, I'm assuring you, we are going to build all their barracks along the borders. They are supposed to go there and do their job. Let them leave the towns for the police and civil defense. With the army officers by the border, I don't think anybody can come into our country and cause problem to us.
This insurgency, how did we get here? It's alien to Nigeria. It's crept up on us, and now we're here, we're living with it. Nigeria, we have diverse people, diverse religions, but we should learn to live together as one. And until we do that, it's going to be very difficult to satisfy a particular group of people. We have to look beyond our diversity and have a way, fashion out a way to live together and work together to achieve a common purpose, which is the greatness of our nation. And okay, looking at the military fighting the insurgency, these are good military men, brave men that go to other countries on peacekeeping missions, and they excel. So what exactly is the problem in our country today? Why can't they do the same here?
Tackling the issue of security must go beyond only equipping military or security personnel, but addressing the real source of concern. What I mean here is, we all believe there are things that generate and form themselves to influence this insecurity situation, like poverty, unemployment, literacy, and so on and so forth. We will revisit the existing laws. We'll make sure that the existing laws works equally. Our government will instruct the Central Bank of Nigeria to draft a policy which will contain additional microcredit facility to small and cottage industries. Equally, our federal government will collaborate with the state and that of the other agencies in assisting the small-scale businesses. Most important here is to look into consideration of convening a global economic summit, particularly on the small and medium scale industries, which will allow us to draw a new policy, draw a program of action, and at the same time expose our small scale industries to the global world.
Well, the federal government, if elected, the UDP will build more companies, more textiles, more smaller industries for our youths.
First and foremost, we cannot talk about strengthening businesses in Nigeria without taking a look at the power sector. Because in the country today, most medium, small-scale businesses are generating their own power via the use of generators, and so on. And we can actually tell you that more than half of their profit goes into generating this power. And at the end of the day, they might have to close shop or the business gets run down. So before we address the strengthening of those businesses, we need to work on the power sector. Make sure we have 24/7 light in this country. And how do we achieve this? It's not rocket science. It's attainable, actually, because other countries have done it. So why can't we do it here? You know, we have other sources of clean, renewable energy we can harness to provide light in this country. We have the solar, we have the tidal, we have the wind. There's so many ways we can do that. And once we do that, I'm telling you honestly, these businesses will have a lot more capital to work with, and they'll be able to plow a lot more of their profit back into the business. Alternatively, secondly, we should also look at giving them loans, and not just giving them a loan and at very, very low interest rates, of course, but not just giving them the loan and then leaving them to get on with it. We need to have people monitor the business. We'll have people go there for periodic training, train them on how to make their businesses better, on their staff, on their overhead costs, how to cut the costs, and how to increase their profit at the end of the day.
Stop selling our fuel outside, so that when the falling standard of the petrol is up, then we release it. Now, instead of agriculture, instead of petroleum, we go to agriculture. Because the sector occupies the lives of many Nigerians. Highest percentage of the Nigerian population depend on agriculture. However, the sector has been suffering from the neglect since the oil boom started. Now the oil is falling. Now we should go back to agriculture.
It's a wake-up call to Nigerians, because over the past years we've been concentrating solely on strictly oil, and we've ignored the other sectors. First and foremost, with the devaluation of the Naira, it will be that much more difficult for people to take dollar abroad and bring in fake inferior products into the country. We'll be motivated to try and produce, which also boils down to getting the power sector working, you know. So that said, with the falling price in oil, now we have no option than to diversify. And when we talk about diversification, we're looking at the agri sector, mining, technology, tourism and culture, sports and entertainment. There are so many. Nigeria is a blessed country. We just need to harness this blessing. We just need to find a way to unleash the creativity in our people. For all these years, oil has numbed that creative aspect of us. But this is a wake-up call. This is time to get up. And an ADC-run government will ensure that there's a lot of development and input in the other sectors of the economy. We'll be sure to diversify and concentrate more on these other sectors of the economy that I have mentioned. Thank you very much.
Our first priority is the economy, which is crumbling. The diversification of economy is a simple answer to discussing. Put more effort in agriculture, large-scale agricultural policy, very good incentives to our peasant farmers, provision of agricultural needs like fertilizer and pesticides, reawakening spirit of our industries, mining industry, small and large-scale industries, if needs be, on special consideration, discourage import and improve export.
There will be zero tolerance for corruption in an ADC-run government. We will not stand for it. And why a lot of these corrupt citizens get away with it is because nobody prosecutes them. Even when they are prosecuted, it takes donkey years to get the cases going and to see the conclusion in the courts. And at the end of the day, they die a natural death right there, or some of the evidences are lost and or whatnot. So now what an ADC-run government intends to do is to have special courts that will be dedicated to the trial of any citizen, be it civil servants, politicians, any citizen that has been indicted as being corrupt will have a special court to try those cases. And we'll make sure that it doesn't stay too long, at most between 3 to 6 months, to be over and done with. And if the person is indicted and found guilty, he or she will have to pay for it. Thank you very much.
In our case, we'll publicly confront corruption, impunity, and other social vices using what we call 3 E's. That is enlightenment, example, empowerment, and enforcement. Simply, that will embark on public awareness to tell our people the effect, negative effects of corruption to our society. This enlightenment will be carried out using mass media. Then, example, we'll make sure at all levels of government controlled by NCP, leaders live by example.
It is only in Nigeria, as I said from the beginning, that corruption is not a crime. Because it is people from the high that are in this business. Because I call it a business, because if you buy a house, you buy a car, when I see it tomorrow, I will take. So, the government of UDP, if elected into office, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to show an example to 1 or 2 people so that everybody will sit tight and stop stealing, siphoning government money.
We shall form a committee of professionals to advise the government on how to go about reviving those industries. And if resources meet, we establish more industries so that we can diversify the idea and at the end benefit from it. That's what we have in mind.
As we all know in this country, we have this long old standing, the Ajaokuta steel plant. And I'm pleased to state that we have reached an advanced stage in privatizing that plant. Initially, there were issues to do with legal matters which have been resolved. But not only that, that we are reviving the Ajaokuta steel plant, we have also developed a policy under the National Industrial Revolution Plan of this country that is attracting also the private sector participating in the steel industry. Only recently in Ogun State, a big steel plant was commissioned, and we have other steel plants all over the country. But most importantly, we have put in place the enabling environment that is attracting foreign direct investment in the steel industry in Nigeria, and that is the right way to go. The private sector are the drivers of these industries, and we are giving them all the facilities to ensure that we achieve our objective in that direction.
I think the focus will be readdressed, and also to look at the plan, look at the expertise. I agree with the idea of allowing the private sector to participate in this steel industry, because it is a long time issue. So many years about the steel industry, we cannot resolve them. But I think it's high time we are going to give time frame and to ensure that we complete the project and allow it to operate. Not only the Ajakuta and other steel industry. I think for the country to move forward, we need to add additional steel industry by collaborating with other developmental partners and also other private sector to go on to ensure that we place them and ensure that they are work. Even for us to enable our industry to be creating job to Nigerians. What we are going to do is that we are going to ensure that a technical measure have been provided, not to allow people even to go on to the corruption. And these measures will include openness, accountability, and transparency must be assured by those people in the authorities that are coordinating public funds. In addition to that, we are going to ensure that we strengthen the anti-corruption agency to perform their job diligently without fear or favor.
You see, corruption, people take corruption to be like an event. Corruption is not an event. Corruption has become a cancer. And you all know, for you to treat cancer, you have to open up the place, cut it off, and even sometimes you have to use nuclear treatment to cure that disease. So what we had to review, I give you an example. Before the civil war in this country, in the 60s, there was no armed robbery. But when armed robbery started, the consequences is death sentence. And when it started, people are put at the bar beach in Lagos and shot as armed robbers. And up to today, it attracts death sentence, and armed robbery is continuing. So not only the issue of putting the agencies, etc. What we have innovated and brought new is to be able to attack this corruption in such a manner that people will not even have the access to resources that they will act in a corruptive manner. Take, for example, the solution we had on the fertilizer scam. Previously, the government spent averagely 100 billion naira annually to procure fertilizer that only about 10% reaches the farmers. But today we have the e-wallet system. Almost 90% of this fertilizer, the farmers get their fertilizer, and we have a saving of about 100 billion annually. In the civil service, we came up with an e-system of IPs, so that the whole salary of staff, now we have dealt away with the issue of ghost worker. Out of about 300 MDAs, we are able to arrest over 60,000 ghost workers and saved annually now about 200 billion naira. This is the way to go forward in addressing the issue of corruption.
It has been a vicious bane in our society. In UPP, we have designed policies and strategies to fight it out of our society. We intend, if given the mandate, to ensure visitation of the relevant laws and the relevant enforcement agencies, to train them, equip them, and give them independence to fight corruption. If voted to power, we shall ensure that all public officers declare their assets annually, and we shall establish a monitoring body that will be monitoring those assets to the end of the officer's tenure. So also in the civil service. We believe by doing that, the public officers will be kept checked.
It is unfortunate that in Nigeria we are experiencing the problem of terrorism, which is a new thing that has occurred in the world. Today we have terrorism going on in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, northern Mali, and unfortunately Nigeria. And in Nigeria we have the problem of Boko Haram, highly unfortunate. But I want to state here that the federal government is doing everything to ensure that we arrest this problem of insurgency and terrorism in Nigeria. We are strengthening in the area of security. We are strengthening our security agencies. We are ensuring that our army and other military personnel are properly kitted, properly equipped. You see, the issue here is that terrorism, as I said, was not part of the strategic plan of security in all countries that happen to experience this. And we met a situation where we have to quickly arrange and address, equip the army, retrain the army, and put them in a position that will address this menace.
We shall ensure that security votes are strongly tied to security matters, and security personnel, the welfare of security personnel will be well protected. By doing so, we believe they will give their best services to their motherland. We shall ensure that our security personnel are engaged in day-to-day training so that they can be equipped with the modern security system in the world.
Look, Nigeria, we need to make a paradigm shift. When we witness a broken home, we need a woman to fix that home for us. What the good people of Northeastern required now is motherly intervention that has an inbuilt skill to address that issue. Nothing you can give to those people that left their houses, left their jobs, lost their loved one, to fix them and also to compensate what they have lost. Nothing. For you to even convince those people, I came from Adamawa State, for you to even convince these people, for them to go back to their respective home and village, I think you need serious work to do because of the fear that was installed on them. So you need, first, although these people are now refugees in the name of internally displaced person, if not for our culture and tradition, we used to accept our brothers and sisters across the border of religion or ethnicity to live together in our homes. These people will have been our refugees in their own country. So in this regard, however, government are they are doing their own effort, but we need to further add more effort to ensure that, one, security personnel, as have been said, were equipped adequately. Please let us massively vote for Professor Oluremi Shonaya the presidential candidate of COA party, together we can make a difference. Thank you very much.
We are addressed and called as learned men. We are not learned because we know everything. No, because we are trained with the skill of finding solutions to problems. I call on Nigerians to rally around us, give us their mandate.
So therefore, I want to seize the opportunity in this closing remark to draw the attention of Nigerians that it is for us to continue with a wise decision and elect President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
Middle. Please just come to the middle of the podium. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your participation today.
Please, audience, you may wish to applaud. The 2015 presidential debate is brought to you by the Nigerian Elections Debate Group NEDG with support from INEC, NOA, BON, NUJ, NGA, that's Nigerian Guild of Editors, NDI, and DFID. BON member stations are our official broadcasters, African Independent Television, AIT, and the Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, are the official production stations for global distribution of the 2015 debate signal. Africa's biggest radio network, Radio Nigeria, is our official radio station.